pour garantir vos intérêts et mériter encore plus votre confiance. Mais je ne peux parler de ces réalisations sans saluer l'endurance, mais alors la persévérance et aussi le courage de tout le personnel de Global Investment Trading. Applaudissez pour ces jeunes, s'il vous plaît. Une équipe très jeune. Je suis le plus vieux de cette entreprise. Très dévoué. De jour comme de nuit, toujours connecté. Notre matière première, c'est Internet. S'il n'y a pas Internet, on rentre au village. Qui a su travailler sous pression. Ah, Dieu seul sait comment je mets la pression. Et s'accommoder à ces exigences de qualité très fortes. Ceci dans la recherche et la perfection pour donner le meilleur de nous-mêmes et mieux vous servir. Les membres de GIT qui, de près ou de loin, n'ont ménagé aucun effort pour nous soutenir en termes de conseils et des méthodes très strictes. Je pense ici au soutien infernal du Platinum, M. Yetna, Mathieu. C'est un financier de haut rang qui frappe le fer et l'enclume de jour comme de nuit. M. Olomo, est-ce qu'il est là? C'est un fiscaliste. Monsieur Abela, mais Monsieur Abela, vous êtes Platinum. Madame Bokmis, Monsieur Ndame, je l'ai vu quelque part là, le voilà. Monsieur Bamal, est-ce qu'il est là? Il n'est pas encore là. Je ne pourrais continuer sans remercier Monsieur Mahamadou Tou. Est-ce qu'il est là? Ah, c'est le seul et unique diamond de l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Monsieur Mahamadou Tou, Monsieur Mamadou Ouedraogo, toujours de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, il vient du Burkina Faso. Ces deux messieurs, lorsque je vais au Burkina Faso pour ma première fois au mois de février, ils ne m'ont pas rejeté. Ils nous ont accueillis, ils nous ont orientés et aujourd'hui, nous sommes une famille. Applaudissez pour eux, s'il vous plaît. Monsieur Dakoumès Mensa du Togo, on se connaît depuis plus de 4 ans. Toujours sur Internet. Monsieur Clément Chouante, est-ce qu'il est là? Il n'est pas encore là. Tous ces conseils, je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, sous la supervision générale du tout premier Diamond, Monsieur Baïha Bena. Ce sont mes conseillers, tous ceux dont j'ai cité là, qui de jour comme de nuit, ne cessent de me dire, c'est pas comme ça, c'est comme ceci. Nous, on pense que ça devrait être comme cela. Et puis, quand je reviens, je dis, Monsieur Baïha, qu'en pensez-vous? Voilà comment nous travaillons. C'est en synergie, c'est en collaboration. Je n'ai pas oublié le docteur Moumi, Monsieur Moumi de Bakondi. Et pour la petite histoire, ce soir sera dédicacé mon tout premier livre intitulé Le modèle simple, comment devenir crypto-millionnaire. Ce livre a été écrit par M. Moumi de Bakondi. L'homme n'étant rien sans sa moitié, je ne saurais conclure cette série de remerciements sans une pensée très profonde à ma tendre épouse qui est tout derrière moi là. Vous voyez comment on se ressemble. Il faut rappeler que ça ne fait pas encore 4 mois qu'on était encore dans cette même salle pour célébrer notre mariage. Applaudissez pour nous. Vous voyez comment ça brille encore. C'est pas facile pour elle parce que j'ai au trop une semaine au Cameroun et je suis parti. Elle doit rester garder les enfants. Nous en avons 6. Applaudissez pour moi. Je suis un bon bassa. Elle doit garder 6 enfants pendant mon absence, c'est pas évident. Mais elle est toujours là. Et vous voyez, elle porte le cibcroy. En effet, sans ces personnes, sans leur engagement, sans leur disponibilité, nous n'aurions pu mener à bien toutes ces actions que je viens d'énumérer. Permettez-moi, mesdames et messieurs, de vous conter une petite histoire. Il y a 10 ans, jour pour jour, le Bitcoin voyait le jour. Plus précisément en avril 2009. À cette époque, un Bitcoin valait 0,001 $. Parce que beaucoup vont se poser la question tout à l'heure, que faisons-nous ici? Je dis bien, en 2009, un Bitcoin valait 0,001 $. Nous sommes aujourd'hui en 2019. Ça fait 10 ans. Un Bitcoin, à l'heure où je vous parle, vaut 8 500 $. Ceci voudrait dire que en 2009, pour acheter 1000 Bitcoins, il fallait dépenser 1 $. Actuellement, pour acheter 1000 Bitcoins, il faut dépenser 8 500 000 $. Applaudissez pour cette activité. En 2007, je suis recruté au lycée Mongo Joseph, tout à côté, en tant qu'enseignant vacataire d'informatique. Tout droit devant vous, j'ai mon ex-censeur à l'époque, M. Yomba Janvier, qui était mon patron, mon chef. M. Yomba, applaudissez pour lui s'il vous plaît. Aujourd'hui, il est secrétaire particulier du ministre des Transports. Il a aussi grandi comme moi. Alors, en 2007, je suis enseignant d'informatique parce que dans un cyber au niveau du Carrefour et Office à Comondo, non loin d'ici, je gérais un cyber. C'est là-bas que un de mes enseignants, Monsieur Mama, il n'est pas là, me rencontre un matin, il me dit, mais que fais-tu ici? Je lui dis, mais c'est moi qui gère ce cyber. Mais nous avons besoin des enseignants d'informatique au lycée, puisque à partir de cette année, l'informatique viendra au baccalauréat. Et l'école normale supérieure ne forme pas encore des informaticiens. Voilà comment il me déloge du cyber pour m'amener au lycée Mongo. Au cyber, je touchais mes 40 000 francs. Je me contentais de ça puisque j'habitais juste à côté. Et lorsqu'il m'amène au lycée, je croyais que j'allais grandir en argent. Et là-bas, quand tu arrives, on ne te dit même pas combien tu touches. En fait, c'est même un privilège. Pour eux, d'après eux, c'est un privilège de te prendre dans un lycée comme enseignant. À la fin du mois, c'était le professeur Moumha Joseph, non, Roland. Lorsque le salaire passe, on me donne 50 000 francs. Lorsque je vais dans son bureau, il me dit, mais c'est comme ça ici, on ne t'a pas dit, qui t'a amené ici? C'est 50 000 francs ici, ce n'est pas discutable. Bon, moi, l'enseignement, c'était une passion. J'adorais transmettre. Cela ne m'a pas trop dérangé. Alors j'ai adopté d'autres stratégies, puisqu'il y avait une salle informatique à côté. Et je me suis proposé de l'entretenir. Au lieu de payer 400 000 francs au prestataire ou 500 000, je lui demandais juste mes petits 20 000 ou 25 000 francs. C'est comme ça que j'ai travaillé au lycée Mongo. En 2010, je suis allé au lycée de Nilon-Brazzaville, toujours pour le même métier, enseignant vacataire d'informatique. En 2012, à partir de 2012, j'ai commencé à faire des petits placements sur Internet. pour les anciens d'Internet.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us again today. Sunday, our English presentation. So I usually like to put this video of the secondary anniversary at the beginning of the presentation while we're waiting for people to log in. And it's mainly for our English speaking folks. It's a good opportunity for you guys to practice your French. So keep coming and logging in every Sunday evening. By in the next few weeks, you start listening French. So, okay, so today we'll be presenting the Liyeplimal platform. I'll be working with Ebenezer. So Ebenezer will do the introduction the way he only knows how to do. And then after that, I will take over to present the packs, the compensation plan, and then how to withdraw money from the system. And after that, we will allow you guys to ask questions. Then we'll take the time to answer the questions. So it always depends how long we have. So usually we want to do this within an hour, maximum hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes. So the number of questions depends on how much time we still have. So without further ado, I will let Ebenezer to take over. Ebenezer.
You're on mute, Ebenezer.
Sorry, these are very, very good manners that I've developed these last weeks. I'm just ironizing. Thanks, folks, for joining, for dialing. Thanks for your interest for Liyeplimal. I'm saying thank you for your interest for Liyeplimal. I know why I'm saying that is because there is a cause behind Liyeplimal. Behind us making money, there is a cause. Every cryptocurrency has a cause, except Bitcoin that has a more global cause, which is decentralizing transactions and denationalizing the governing of the currencies, because it's also the mother currency. So it has a more global cause, which is to make people completely free from the centralized traditional system that the current financial world has. So the cause behind Liyeplimal is Liyeplimal. You guys, I hope you guys have had the interest of trying to make sense of what Liyeplimal is. Where does that name come from? That's essentially what I'm going to present to you from a man who was born in Douala and who grew up in poverty. And the video we just watched, the man is giving his testimony there, saying that he used to be a substitute teacher in computer science. at a secondary school in Douala, Cameroon, where he was essentially offering his services to first do a knowledge transfer to students about computer science, but also to take care of their computer labs uh, and entertain students around computing. And the guy was he didn't have a very interesting salary for the job he was doing. Folks, this is Africa. This is the reality we're talking about, and this is the reality that brought him uh, into Liyeplimal. So he, being a father of six, he knew that he couldn't just uh, rely on this single revenue that was kind of meaningless for his large family, his pretty large family. So while he was taking care of the students, he was also doing some of his side business. His side business was essentially everything that had to do with the internet. So while he was exploring the internet, he uh, came across the cryptocurrency opportunity, and he started diving a little more into that. And at some point, he developed the interest of knowing better this whole thing about cryptocurrency. What is it about? What's its purpose? And how can it make really somebody rich, become rich? So he started investing here and there with the little salary that he had, with the few connections that he had. He reached out, and he was able at some point to have a couple of his friends become interested into this business. But as you already know, in the world of finance, nothing nothing just rolls perfectly. It's not part of our world. Before something begins to roll um, well, well, it has a few hurdles. So he faced a few hurdles, and he experienced some failures also in some of his investments. And some of these failures were so hard on him that it caused him to part ways with some of his friends with whom he ventured in some of these opportunities, online opportunities. But he didn't give up, because his guts were telling him that there is something about this thing. Yes, he may have lost money, but that doesn't mean that this thing ain't true. That doesn't mean that he can't uh, get the best out of that. So he continued to explore, he continued to work hard, and he continued to invest. And at some point, he realized that his money, he could not help him, because earning 50,000 FCFA, which is an equivalent today of 80 limos, 80 limos. This is what he was earning per month as a substitute teacher. Can you imagine that? 80 limos, 80. Unbelievable, right? So he leveraged his connections, capacity, and that is what led him into trading, into doing trading with people, with individuals. And while he was doing that, some were really being undereducated, some were really stunned by how fast, how quickly they can make passive income. But others also that were a little bit naive of about the business, they couldn't keep up, because they didn't understand the nature of the business. So the fluctuations of the Bitcoin that fluctuated downward, it didn't do them any good. So they had to complain to Mr. Simp, and Mr. Sim had to find a way to reimburse them. Some of these were very, 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 very aggressive, and they had to take him to the police. And so at some point he had to refund them, even though it's business. Business doesn't work that way, but he had to because he was forced to. Then he started developing the idea, how can I protect myself and how can I protect my clients from these fluctuations? Because not all of them are educated enough to understand that this is expected in online trading. So what in the process of thinking, he continued investing, and at some point he was able to make just enough money out of trading directly with a few individuals. He was able to make just enough money to invest it online. And that little amount of money he invested just about that time, it produced him like about 5 times as much. That was his biggest ever in online trade. It was still nothing. It was still nothing compared to what you and I are earning today on Liyeplimal. But back then, before the 2017, in the years between 2012 and 2017, and it earned him a lot of money at his level, and so much that he said Liyeplimal in his mother language. So that was a way for him to realize that there is hope. There is hope to come out of poverty, because he was in deep poverty. There is hope to exit poverty by leveraging this cryptocurrency business. So he expressed himself saying to himself Liyeplimal in his mother language, which means poverty is finished. So that is where he started entertaining the idea of a platform where he will allow others to come and invest, because he knew that his own money will never make him rich, because he had so little amount of money that it wasn't possible for him to think of himself as a crypto millionaire with what he had. So in order to make it work, not only for himself, but for as many as he knew that were in poverty, he thought of this platform of Liyeplimal. But given that he had faced issues before with people, conflicting issues where they had to take him to the police, he imagined a platform where he will fix the rates, the return on investment rates for his clients, so that his clients will not directly be exposed to the cryptocurrency and will never have to deal directly with the fluctuations of the cryptocurrency. Therefore, these frustrations will never come up. So he thought of this idea of fixing rates, offering fixed rates on Liyeplimal, and he will never have to deal with that, with those frustrations anymore. So he came up with the platform of Liyeplimal, and so that's how he went online as a business on 2017. He went online after creating the business GIT and the Liyeplimal company. He went online and he started offering trading opportunities to everyone. We're still dealing with cryptocurrencies, but indirectly, because their company are taking our dollars, they are converting it into cryptocurrencies, and they are injecting into the market, and they are doing trading with that. And they purchase massively cryptocurrencies. When the values of these are low. So when the fluctuations are high, that they fluctuate so high, they resell massively and they make profit. A fraction of this profit they reconvert back into dollars, and they use that to repay us all the ROI that we see on the Liyeplimal platform. This is how they generate revenue. Only a fraction of what they make is used to pay us our payouts. And so the idea of Mr. Parfait was to eradicate poverty when he came up with this business idea. It wasn't just for us to make money, because at some point, even if we make money, we have to sit down and decide, what are we going to make with this money? What are we going to do with this money? And so there was a vision behind Liyeplimal. The vision is to eradicate poverty and to offer Africans with the opportunity to become crypto millionaires. So his strategy is via online trading, where you and I can come and invest, and we have a return on investment. And the platform is so open and flexible in a way that you can reinvest as much as you want. There is no limitations in what you can, in the amount of money that you can invest in the platform. And once you become crypto millionaire, you and I, Mr. Parfait has this vision that he can lean on us, crypto millionaires of Liyeplimal, to finance big projects, big and giant projects. Imagine, for instance, imagine that we have to build like these gigantic highways, either in Cameroon or elsewhere in Africa, that costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Being like 1 million crypto millionaires in the platform, it will be easy for him to raise $1 million in a day. So like simple thing for him to raise dozens of millions of dollars in a few weeks, so he can finance these projects. Because we know in Africa we cannot depend on our governments, we cannot. And this will also free Africa from dependence, the dependency of the Western world, because we know that the Western world has been, the heavy hand of the Western world on Africa has been similar to that of Japan upon China in between the First and the Second World War. So it's not helping us to remain in this box where we don't control our natural resources, we don't control our substances that we have. But when we become financially autonomous and financially capable, we will no longer welcome the help and the aid coming from outside to help Africa. But this is not just an aid. They call it an aid. It's not just an aid. So his vision is to free Africa from those ties, from those dependencies, and to offer Africa with the ability for Africa to rise, finally to rise, but to rise to sit at the table with giants, but not just to sit at the table with giants, but to become better than the giants. And it is doable, it is possible, it is feasible, only if you and I understand the vision, catch it, and support it, and continue to spread the word, and allow others to come also and join the movement and support Africa. Maybe some of the things that we're talking about, we may not see it, you and I, but our children will. Just to wrap up, I will remind you that I believe most of us here in this group here, we are of about the same generation. 30 years ago, Hong Kong and Shanghai, do you know what they looked like 30 years ago when you and I were born into this world? Or when you and I were toddlers? Shanghai and Hong Kong looked like nothing. In fact, Douala, the city of Douala, is just about what Hong Kong was 30 years back. In 30 years, China has transformed their landscape. So Singapore was the same thing. Singapore was unknown of the world. Singapore has also risen out of poverty just like that in a matter of 30 years. So Africa can do the same. It may not take as long because it took hundreds of years, centuries for Europe, for France, Italy, Germany, and England to build their countries. It took them centuries. It took less than 2 centuries, about 100 years plus to the US to build the US. And it took 30 years to China to build China. And guess what? The US leveraged Europe to build the US. China leveraged the US to build China. We can leverage not only China, but the US and Europe all together to build Africa. And this is a perfect action plan. Liyeplimal is the perfect action plan for that. So what is Liyeplimal precisely? That is what I'm going to invite Richard to tell us more, to give us details and to give us more explanation, more insight. You know, he's very, very, very keen at doing that. And prepare your questions. If you're shy to directly ask your question after his presentation, drop it on the chat, on the chat box, the chat window, and we'll happily read your question on your behalf. Thank you. Richard?
Thank you very much, Ebenezer. I like your introductions. It gives us an insight of what's actually happening. As opposed to thinking of Liyeplimal as just an investment platform, but also thinking of the vision behind it. It's very interesting. I would like to take the opportunity to actually present myself. I usually take for granted that most of the people that come to this meeting have been here before, which is not the case. So my name is Richard Ingulu. I started Liyeplimal in August 2018. So I've been with Liyeplimal for a good while now. At the beginning, I wasn't sure because I've also went through some internet and online investment ventures that have not worked. So I was a little bit reluctant when it came to Liyeplimal. And I grew to observe the system and understand how it works and see how serious it was, in such a way that one day I decided it's time for me to not just being an investor, but also spread the word and work into bringing other people into the system. So while I started doing that, I came across some people that actually didn't understand what the whole thing was about. That's why I took upon myself with a group of friends to start doing these presentations every week in order for us to communicate around Liyeplimal and to educate and provide as much information as we can. Because when people start understanding something, then they are going to actually integrate the system and follow the vision that Ebenezer was just talking about. So what I'm going to do, So Ebenezer already did that nice introduction about the company and what it does. So we say that the company is specialized in trading cryptocurrencies, so buying and selling and managing a financial portfolio. You are all investing, most of you guys, in your currency, but that money is converted into cryptocurrency. Then they go to the cryptocurrency market and then they trade there. They've been doing this for 3 years now, so they've grown to become experts in the domain. I just feel like, I think that the CEO is very busy now. At some point, he used to give us some tips about cryptocurrency that you could buy yourself and keep so that they will take value over time and you can make profit. But for those who usually ask the question, what does a company do exactly? That's what they do. They convert the money to cryptocurrencies and they trade in the cryptocurrency market. And then they provide you with a return on investment of 3% every week. Okay, so to invest in Liyeplimal, you need not that much of money. The pack of the investment packs or the packages go from $100 to $100,000. And as you can see here, you get a weekly return investment depending on the amount, the package that you've purchased. So if you get a $100 package, which is the Abidjan package, you get every week $3.07. That will come to your balance every week. If you get the N'Djamena package, it will be $29.23. If you get the Yaoundé packet, you will get $126 every week. And after 4 weeks, you'll get $504. And after a year, you'll get $66,560. Now, there is something that you need to understand. When they say ROI in the Liyeplimal platform, it means your capital plus your profit. So the weekly ROI that you get is your capital and your profit. And the good thing with Liyeplimal is that as soon as you buy your package, after 1 week, you start actually reducing your risk because you start getting paid and you can get that money out of the system from there. And in order for you to get the money out of the system, I'll talk about it just after the presentation of the compensation plan. So we have big packages. I remember at some point when we started, the biggest package was the Abuja package, and it was like the central of the Liyeplimal system. We didn't know that many people that have invested in the Abuja package. And then the system was so successful that they added the Dubai package. And after that, they added the Waga 2000 package, which is 100,000. And the reason of the Dubai package first is because they opened that package when the company got the certificate to operate in the Dubai crypto ecosystem. For those who are a little bit knowledgeable about the cryptocurrency ecosystem, Dubai is the capital of crypto in the world. So when you would like to operate internationally, you base some of your offices in Dubai. They will provide you with a certificate, and then from there you can operate. So when they were approved to operate in Dubai, that's why they put the Dubai package, which is 51,200. And as you can see, these numbers are actually mind-blowing. So the weekly ROI for a Dubai package is 2,205.5, and yearly you make 114,688. So it's actually more than the double of what you've actually invested. And then more recently, I think it was 6 or 5 months ago, they've started the WAGA 2000 package. And the reason it's WAGA, WAGA is Ouagadougou, which is the capital of Burkina Faso. Burkinabés have embraced Liyeplimal in such a way that it became a big success down there, with thousands and thousands of people joining Liyeplimal. And when the CEO went there, he was so welcome that he decided to name the package WAGA 2000. So that's a 100,000 package. And believe me, there are a lot of people who have purchased that package. So that's what it is when it comes to the packages. So now I'm going to move to the compensation plan. So the compensation plans, it's for people who are helping Liyeplimal to grow the business. Actually, before talking about the compensation plan, I'll come and clarify something from the table that I have here. So, and I'm going to make a little bit of storytelling here. When Liyeplimal started the activities in November 2019, as Ebenezer said, the company was actually created in June 2017, and they started the activities in November 2017. So when they started the activities, they were using US dollar. So that was the mark. So the packages that I just presented to you guys here, it was US dollar at the beginning. And for those, it depends on where you are. For those in Cameroon or those in the CFA, the CEMAC system, there, when you have a US dollar, to change it, you go to the bank, because for those who know, the CFA, the Cameroonian money, is not exchangeable outside of Cameroon. There's a fixed parity with euro. What Ebenezer just said about the strings that we have with the ex-colonies or the new colonies, whatever we want to call them. So when you are in Cameroon, let's say you got your visa, you are traveling to USA. If you have CFA and you travel with that money in USA, it means nothing. It has no value there. So before you traveling, you have to go to the bank in Cameroon and change that money and get the US currency. So when you go to the bank and you have CFA, you need the US currency. So you're buying the currency. The bank will charge you 650 XAF per dollar. So when you're buying, you have the CFA, you need the US dollar. But if you're coming from US and you have the US currency, you go to the same bank and you say, I want to change my money, I want the CFA, because the US dollar, you can't use it in a market in Cameroon, you need the CFA. You go to that same bank to change that money, they will buy your currency at 550. So that's the same logic that Liyeplimal put in place when they started. So in order for you to get in, you were to buy one limo for 650, and to get the money out of the system, you were to be given 550. So it was working like that for 2 years. Then in November 2019, at the secondary anniversary, Liyeplimal reevaluated the dollar. Two things happened at that time. The dollar was no longer the US dollar. The dollar had gained its own identity, the limo. So limo means Liyeplimal money. So it was no longer the US dollar, it was the Liyeplimal money dollar, so the limo dollar. So when you get into Liyeplimal, you will hear people talking about the limo. That's where the name comes from, the limo dollar. And the second thing that they did is that they reevaluated that currency So the US dollar that was 650 when you're buying, the limo dollar now was 800 XAF per limo dollar. So the limo took a value of 150 more than what it was before. So that's why you're seeing the table here. Sometimes it's actually confusing to new people. So the numbers the values that you have here are the official values from the company, where 100 limos will cost you 80,000 XAF. Now, when you do that math, now you have to go to whatever country or currency you're using, and you have to do the conversion of what 80,000 XAF means is in your currency. So it's very important that you understand this. That's why in our presentation, you're still seeing the dollar, the US dollar, but it's no longer the US dollar, it's the limo dollar. So the third thing that happened after that, and it was by design, is that there was a secondary market that was created where people, instead of them withdrawing money directly from the Liyeplimal system and getting 550 XAF per limo, they will sell and buy limos among one another. So that's actually what's still happening. And this actually follow the offer and demand trends. So you'll find limos sometimes at 700, 750, 650, depends on the time and what the demand is out there. So when you get in, if you haven't been in yet, or if you haven't transact with the limo yet, you'll come across this. I'm just saying this for you to understand why all those transactions are coming from. Okay, so once that's been said, we can move on now to the compensation plan. Now, the compensation plan was built for people who are willing to help Liyeplimal to grow. So I see 3 profiles when it comes to Liyeplimal. We have people who are pure investor. What they do, they invest. They don't want to say anything to anyone. They don't want to talk to anyone. They invest their money. They get their return on investment and they keep investing. So those are pure investors. And those people who are pure investors are not compensated. They're not recompensated for the investment that they're doing. The only thing that they're getting is their payouts, and they like it that way. Now, the second profile are the networkers, people who are good at dealing with other people, and people who are willing to help the company to grow. Those are networkers. Now, the third profile, most of us, I think, are the hybrid profile, people who are investing and also are networking. So the world compensation plan was for networkers. That's why the number that I'm going to be talking about will not be the amount that you have invested, but it will be the amount that people have invested under you, under your umbrella. So when you join, like this person here, there are 2 things. First thing, when you join and you bring people, like this person brings A, B, and C, you get 6% commission out of their investment. So if A has invested 100, you get $6. If B has invested 200, you get $12. And if C has invested $3,200, you get $184. So that's the 6% that you get. That's first when you just joined. Now that you see that the Liyeplimal system is working well for you, you want to talk to people, you want to bring people in, there are 2 information or 2 indices that you can use to grow in terms of leadership. The first one is the team turnover. So the team turnover is all these people under you. So the people that you have brought and the people that those people have brought into the system. So that's your team. So the amount of money that they have invested constitute the team turnover. You will see that this team turnover doesn't take into consideration your own investment. is just the people that you bring and the people that people have brought. Now, the second information is the personal turnover, which is only the people that you have directly brought to the system. So in this, if you look at this example here, your personal turnover will be the investment of A, B, and C, while your team turnover will be A, B, C, A1, A2, A3, B1, C1, A31. So you need to reach these two levels to move up the ladder of leadership of Liyeplimal. So in order for you to move from level 1 to level 2, you need to have a team turnover of $6,000. Right now it's no longer USD, it's Limo dollars. And a personal turnover of $1,800. Then you will move to level 2, and by doing so, you will get a team bonus of 360 USD, 360 limos. So by that time, you are now at the level 2. And at the level 2, what happens is that you keep getting 6% commission from your first level of investment, but you'll also get 2% commission out of your second level of investment. So if A brings A1 and A2, A will get 6% of their investment and you will get 2% of their investment. And you stop there because you're just at the level 2. Now, in order for you to move to the third level, you need to reach a team turnover of 36,000 and a personal turnover of 10,800. Then you will move from level 2 to level 3, and you will get a team bonus of 1,800. And when you get to that level, now you are getting the commissions out of your third generation. So the pupil that A1 brings into the system, you will get commission out of them. That what you couldn't do when you were still at the level 2. So now that you are at the level 3, you can get commissions out of them. Now you keep working hard and you're talking to more and more people. Your people are talking to more and more people. And then you reach the team turnover of 180,000 and the personal turnover of 54,000. Then you will move to level 4, that we call the platinum level, and you get a team turnover of 7,200. And for a good while, this was a level that was difficult to reach. The CEO is usually telling the story how when he was designing the system, he was thinking about someone spending 1.5 years, 2 years into the system to get to the platinum level. But now we have people that are becoming platinum in 2 months. So that's how the system is growing and it's getting bigger and bigger. So when you're now at the platinum level, you can get commissions out of your 4th generation. So that's why you're seeing a 4th generation here, 1%. So you're getting commission for the people that you're bringing in, getting commission from the people that your 1st generation are bringing in, getting commission out of your 3rd generation, and you're also getting commission out of your 4th generation. That's when you're at the platinum level. So you'll keep going, you'll keep growing, you're talking to people, your team is growing, people are investing. And when you get a team turnover of $900,000 and a personal turnover of $270,000, you get a team bonus of 18,000. And for those who are not yet in the system, those bonuses are automatic. As soon as you reach these two numbers, automatically you see in your balance that it has increased with that amount. So Liyeplimal decided, because that was always a question, what are you guys doing to make this amount of money? So he said, okay, if you get to the diamond level, in addition to the 18,000 that we're giving you, we're going to give you 1 month training in crypto trading. So they will teach you what they actually do. What is the machine behind the system? They will teach you how to create. That's why you can see here that when you reach the diamond level, you also get 1 month training in crypto trading. And by that time, you can now trade yourself if you want. I just want to remind you guys that anyone can trade, but you need the willingness, you need the time, and you need the energy to do it. It takes time. It requires a lot of work in order for you to become a good trader. But if you put in the work, you can trade yourself. So it's not actually magic. And Liyeplimal allows you to get 1 month's training when you reach the diamond level. From there, you have only one level to reach, which is the leader level. They call it now the coach. So when you get to the leader level, you become the coach. You become a coach. But for you to get there, it's not easy. It requires a lot of work. You need a team turnover of 3,600,000, a personal turnover of 1,080,000, and then you will get a team bonus of 36,000 and 1 core. So right now in the company, we have approximately 25 to 26,000 members, and we have 1 coach. And he actually just got his car recently on June 13th. He's driving his car now. So it's not a dream, it's a reality. If you put in the work and the energy that needs to be put in, you get there. And by that time, when you're at the diamond level, now you're getting 2% from your 5th generation. And there's something that happens that you have to be aware of, because we're growing so fast in the system, and the stuff that we're learning as we're growing. After the 5th generation, you stop getting any commission. So your 6th, 7th, 8th generation, you don't get any commission, and they stop doing the accounting of the amount that is generated from this generation. So this 3,006,000 here is going to come from your 5 generations. The 6th generation is not going to be taken into account. So it's something that I like to remind people with. So this is actually the compensation plan, and it's very, very interesting one. So when you're willing to help Liyeplimal grow, because you have to remember that what they do is trading. And when it comes to trading, you need capital. So the more capital you have, the more gains you're going to make when you know what you're doing. And they're sharing that with us. So if you see this thing is good, I want to talk to my friend, I want to talk to my family members. So it means that you're also following the vision of Liyeplimal, and they give you those compensations. Okay, so now that we've talked about the compensation, you want to certainly know, okay, Richard, we heard about all this. How do I get my money? How do I even buy the package? And how do I get my money out of the system? So we are here now. So for those in Africa, in Cameroon in particular, there they use mobile money. They use Orange Money and they use MTN mobile money. So you can deposit money from those systems. So from Orange Money and from MTN mobile money. For those of us international, we have the Liyeplimal Visa card that we can also use. They've partnered with UBA, United Bank for Africa. And for those who are a little bit crypto savvy, you can use your Payer wallet and you can use your Bitcoin wallet. So Bitcoin is just for Bitcoins, but Payer holds a lot of type of cryptocurrencies in terms of wallets. So you can use this system, this method, to put the money in. Another thing that I want to add, as I said previously, you can also use direct transfer. It means what? you know someone who is already in Liyeplimal. And the good thing with Liyeplimal is that when you hear about Liyeplimal, you know someone who's in. So you can reach out to someone who's already in Liyeplimal, and you will work out a plan with them so that you can give them whatever currency that you have available, and they will give you limos so that you can invest in the system. So now that you have invested, you bought your 1,600 packs, you're getting your $61 every week. After 2 weeks, 120. After 1 month, 240. Now you have 240. You want to get that money out of the system. Again, you have two ways. You have the official way, and you have the peer-to-peer way. So the official way is that when you set up your account, if you're in Cameroon, you will set up your Orange mobile number or your MTN mobile number. If you're like us, when you register to Liyeplimal, request for the credit card. It's very important. Then you set your credit card into the Liyeplimal system and your payer wallet or your Bitcoin wallet. So once a month, the company will process the request for withdrawals. So you can withdraw anytime from the 26th, from the 27th of the month until the 23rd at noon. That's Cameroonian time. For my friends in Canada, because we don't have the same time zone, or US, I usually tell them, do your withdrawal by the 22nd. Then you don't have any type of headache, because the 23rd at noon, they remove the link that allows you to do the withdrawal. So there were situations where people went to do the withdrawal, the link was not there, and they started panicking. So no reason to panic. It's just that they removed that link, so they're doing the process. So the system is very well organized. You can do your request for withdrawal anytime during the month. And for 2 days, the 24th and the 25th, they'll put money in your account, whether it's your Visa or your Orange money, they'll put money in there. So it's something that you have to know. Once a month, you can get your money out of the system. Now, anytime during the month, if you see someone who is in need with limos, you can sell them your limo. So now that is up to you. So it's an understanding that we will have with that person, and then you can sell your limo to them, and you can get your money anytime by doing a transfer to the person. As we saw, you can do the transfer anytime. The only thing that you have to know is that there is a limit for the transfer. You cannot do more than 2,500 per day in the Liyeplimal system. You cannot transfer more than 2,500 per day. But you can pay 275 limos to the company, and they will remove that constraint. And for there you can transfer any amount of money that you want. When you do your withdrawal from the Visa card, there is a 2% fee from the company. There's a 2% fee from Liyeplimal. And then when you do your withdrawal from the system, they will get 2%. So let's say you want to remove, you want to withdraw $100, you need to have $102. So they'll get the $2 for the fees, the withdrawal fees, and then they will give you 100. As we just say, if you're using the card, there's going to be 550 XAF that you get. So if you're doing a withdrawal of 100 limos, you will get 55,000. And then there will be conversion fees for that money to go from the XAF to the currency that you are using. So it's something that you have to be mindful of. Okay, so those are the ways for you to put money in the system and to get money out of the system. So I think we are getting to the end of the presentation. So the contact of the company, the head office is Douala, Cameroon. They've just finished building their office. There's a building in Kribi we'll be talking about something that we didn't talk about here, which is a SIM coin in our next presentations. So SIM coin is a cryptocurrency that is backed with a real estate venture that will be based in Tribi. So they just finished building a building there. So the head office might be moving to Tribi soon. But right now the head office is in Douala. And they also have offices in Madagascar, in Burkina Faso, and in Dubai, like I mentioned previously. Okay, so JIT services. So today we focus only on Liyeplimal because we don't want to confuse anyone, but there are many other services that the company provides. So we have SimCoin, which is the cryptocurrency that we'll be talking about soon. They have Lee Market, which is their e-commerce platform. They have SimTrex, which is the exchange platform. And they have Lee Market Madagascar, Lee Portal, which is the Dubai e-commerce system. They have a driving school. They have agro businesses. They have restaurants. They have a lot of services that they provide. But we don't want to talk about those services here, but just for you to know. Here we focus on Liyeplimal. Okay, so some partnerships and awards. So they've partnered with Mogrica.com, which is an online trading company. So you can go to the Mogrica.com website if you want to learn how to trade. And the company was awarded Best Investment Crypto Trading Company in Africa and Best Crypto Trading School in Africa in 2019. As you can see, the CEO is visible everywhere. He was at the cover of the Challenge news recently, and multiple videos of him on YouTube. So how to join the platform? You need to know someone who is already a member. It's a referral system. So you need to know someone who's already members. Okay, I have a feeling that it took a lot of time to present. I'm really sorry for that. So now I'm going to open the mic for questions. So now there are two ways to ask your question. So I have two questions now already. I have Valerie, then I have Seraphine. But there are two ways to ask questions. You can raise your hand from the Zoom system. Then I will see your hands up, and you can also ask your question in the chat. Say, I have a question in the chat. Then I'll also allow you to ask your question. So first Valerie, then Seraphine. So Valerie, you can open your mic. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from. Then you can ask your question. You have maximum 2 questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm calling from Canada, and I was just I just joined this Liyeplimal thing about a week today, and I saw that it's something very nice because I've got my first payment, my first payout, so it looks real. But I have some questions. I think just one question for now. The first question is, I joined with I bought a pack of 6,400. That's the pack that I bought, 6,400. And my question now is, if I want to bring in somebody, because as I understand, I cannot have that bonus because I am alone. So if I bring in somebody, because it must be a team, as I understand, it must be a team to have that bonus. So if I bring in somebody now, even if the person comes in now and buy just a pack of $100, will I qualify for the personal bonus, or how does it work? Since I alone, I already put 6,400. If somebody joins under me now, and then buys a pack of just $100, will I be qualified to have that bonus?
Ebenezer?
Thanks, Richard. I will defer to Seraphine also.
Seraphine, you want to take over and answer the
Yes,
question?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to all our guests. I'm at work, so I can't put my camera on. Sorry about that. Yes, the answer is no, because your personal investment does not count towards the personal or team. So your personal investment is excluded. So your is excluded from counting toward promotion. Your personal, when they say personal turnover, that is people from your first generation that have invested 1,800, meaning that you join and then you recruit, let's say 1, 2, 3 people. All those 3 people, or let's just say you recruit 1 person, that person has to invest at least 1,800. That will count toward your personal turnover. Now
Okay.
your team, your whole organization
Okay.
has to invest 6,000, and then you're going to meet the criteria.
So if I understand well, if I bring in somebody now that puts buy a package of 1,800 and above, I will qualify for that bonus.
Your personal, no, okay. Let me say
Yes,
it again.
because wait, see,
So your personal, let me finish, sir. Your personal is the person that you refer directly. Now your whole team has to invest 6,000. So if that both criteria have to be met. So if somebody come now and just invest 1,800, that's one criteria that is met. Now your whole team, everybody in your that you have recruited in Liyeplimal need to invest 6,000. Then you will meet the criteria and you will qualify for the 360 bonus. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
But my team, am I not a member of my team?
You are not,
That's
Valerie.
what I'm saying. That
I'm not a member of my team?
No, you are not a member of your team.
Okay,
that's what I was saying, that your personal investment does not count.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Okay.
You are welcome, sir.
Yes.
So I have Seraphine that has a question. Then I also have David. So I have Seraphine. Then I have Alois. Then I have David. So Seraphine, now you have your mic open. Just go ahead.
Yes, my question is, I remember yesterday you were speaking about we are earning commission up to the 5th generation, right?
Uh-huh.
And then what I started thinking, so, but even if you stop earning commission, you stop earning commission at your 5th generation, but are the people that come beyond the 5th generation count toward your team investment?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Everything is linked together. So after I was actually making the comment for Beneza saying, okay, means after my 6th generation, I don't want to work no more. I don't want to do anything no more. Because no, everything is linked together. So it doesn't count. After your 5th generation, it doesn't count no more.
It does not count toward your team?
Nope, it doesn't.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Alois, open your mic.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I literally joined today. I'm calling from the US. I literally joined today. My question is, I have 2 questions. The first one is going to be in connection with what the brother said earlier. So what if it's my first time, I have a lot of friends that I'm talking to that are interested. Assuming one of those guys invest in a package of, I think, 12,600 or something, 12,800 or so. Do I automatically qualify for bonus and the commission?
Yes.
Yes. Could you go with your second question at once?
So my second question now would be, what is the safest way for us to purchase the limo? Okay,
so I will answer the first question. I will complete answering the first question, and I will let Richard take over for the second one. So You only need to match both criterias. Richard mentioned two indices. The first one is the personal turnover. The second one is the team turnover. When you move from one level to the other, both criteria have to be met. So if someone invests a huge pack, that huge pack may happen to be above the personal turnover required, and also at the same time above the team turnover required to move to the next level. For instance, 12,800 pack is above the 1800s personal turnover required to move from level 1 to level 2. And it is at the same time greater than 6,000 team turnover required to move from level 1 to level 2. So once somebody purchases even the $6,400 pack, suffices for you to move directly from level 1 to level 2. It's
Okay.
only that little math that you need to do.
Now, where can we see these criteria? Like both conditions have to be met. Where can I find it? I've been looking for it since.
We just had that on the presentation here.
Oh, sorry. I
It was
joined a
there
little
on the
bit late
PowerPoint.
because I was on the phone with, and it was on the French presentation.
And it's also, there's a brochure. When you log into the website, you have
Right.
all the information. We actually took that brochure to build our presentation. So there's a brochure there. And also Alloy it's a MLM system. So we do the work. The whole point is the person-to-person relationship. So there is a certain level of training that your upline has to give you. There's some information that they have to give you. That's also the reason why we're doing these presentations every week. So where you can ask this question if you're still not clear about them.
Got it.
Can I also add something real quick?
Yes, Seraphine.
Yes, Alois, welcome. Welcome to the Liyeplimal platform. What I also wanted to say is that there's
Thank
a
you.
group, there's a Liyeplimal team user group. We can send you the link. If you put your number, you can text me your number privately, and then I can send you the link to join the Liyeplimal team user. There's a lot of information that goes on the group. And like I always said, your upline should be your first to go person, but sometimes the upline can be also new in the business, and then, or you can be faster than your upline.
Yeah.
So that's why you need the group to like me, I'm faster than my upline. So yes, the group has a lot of resource and everybody try to help everybody. Thank you.
Sure. I will let Richard answer your second question, which was about the best channel to acquire limos.
Okay. So when it comes to acquiring limos, the official way is to deposit your money. When you log in, when you register and you log into your Liyeplimal platform in your back office, if you go to financial deposit, you'll be able to deposit the money. And there are multiple ways to do it. So as I said, for those in Africa, you can deposit from Orange Money or from MTN Mobile Money. For us, if you have money, but at that point you wouldn't have the money in your credit card because you wouldn't have the credit card even. So what you're left with is the cryptocurrency. So you can deposit the money in Bitcoin or via Payer. So it's going to talk for you. It's going to take for you to have a little bit of knowledge in the crypto world to understand how Bitcoin works and how Payer works. So that's the official way to deposit the money. But the unofficial way is that we deal with pairs, people who are already in Liyeplimal. There is a very dynamic group. They're actually dynamic groups because there are multiple groups where people do transaction between one another. So you can look for people who are in US. For example, you just met Seraphine, and you will be the member of the USA team. And you can also go through your upline. So those are the people that could help you. Then you can say, okay, I need a 12,800 pack. I need 12,800 limos. Then Seraphine can say, yeah, I have 12,800 limo. Reach out to me in private and we'll discuss how much that's going to cost you in US dollar. Then you work that out with Seraphine. You send her the US dollar and she send you the limos within the system. As I'm telling you, there's a dynamic that's going on in terms of buying and selling limos. So those are the ways that you can put money in the system. Now, when you are dealing with people at a peer-to-peer relationship, you have to make sure that you do your due diligence. Don't send money to someone that you don't know. Don't send money to someone who just contacted you inbox and you know nothing about him. So you have to do your due diligence in order for the transaction to go as smooth as possible, because it's two ways. You can be at risk. The person who is selling to you can be at risk. So usually you will go with your upline. The upline will refer you to someone, and we have some leaders who are actually doing the limo distribution. So there's a good system in place for that.
Can I say something?
Yes, Alois.
Yeah, so this question actually came up because when I joined today, then I started to talk to people. So one of my contacts wants to go as far as, you know, she's been bidding before in the trade market, and wants to go as far as 25K, 25.2 or something like that. But I could not answer her the safest way, because her concern was, am I going to do a bank transaction or do I have to give the cash in person? So all I could think of was an intermediary that will be there in case maybe I'm referring you. I have to refer you to somebody that I trust that will be able to do that. Now, I am not sure if that'll be a discussion where we got to meet in person. You send me the limo, I verify the limo into my account, I transfer you the cash, or, you know, what way? Due diligence, and, you know, because this is the sticky point for a lot of people that I will talk to.
Yeah. So the only way you will do the in-person transaction is if you guys are in the same town or you are at a driving distance, which is not usually the case. The second way, when you will be part of the WhatsApp group that we're talking about, there is a list of people that have been vetted by the company as sellers. So you can also deal with those people safely. And the third way is actually to have someone who knows someone. Like, for example, your upline will tell you, I know this person. And then you will do the transaction in that way.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I had David.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David. I live in Germantown, Maryland. And Seraphine has talked to me a couple of times about this limo business. And I not only am interested, I have a couple of people that I've talked to as well, and who are as well interested. Well, first of all, to start, this is the presentation that the first person did. I forgot his name. Who was that again? Ebenezer, yeah. Actually, the presentation was very nice. At least the idea behind this venture, you know, like actually, I work in a company. Who has trading in the U.S. system, and this is exactly how the company works. So their stocks and bonds are based on are backed by mortgage security in the US. So those who invest in the securities, definitely at the end of each month, they have their principal and their interest. So that's exactly how this system works. And also the idea of, trying to build some capital market that will help develop African countries is quite good, because actually there's kind of a system that whereby we go to IMF to borrow money at high percentage and all the like. Now, so I have two questions. The first question is to get the money out of the system. That is a question that has been asked already. But what I will add to that question is, how possible is it if let's say I buy limos, and as you guys said, I can decide to take money away from the system at the end of every month. So is there a way to link my bank account to the limo platform in such a way that maybe I can schedule a direct transfer at the end of the month at a specific date? That is the first question. Now, the second question is, if I did get your point, if I did understand you, it was said that you can get money only once a month, as from the 22nd. So does it mean that since the system is paying me weekly, does it mean that before that 22nd, there's no way to get money out of the system? So these are my two questions.
Okay, so I will answer part of it. The idea why we share answering questions is not to avoid monopolizing the speech. So I will answer part of it. So the question, the first one that you mentioned, the general question that comes over and over again. Yes, people can get money out of the system. Apart from the Visa card, Richard mentioned that in his portion of presentation. Apart from the Visa card, the thing about the Visa card is that you can only get money between specific dates, 24th and 25th of each month, regardless of when you made the application, when you requested the withdrawal in the Liyeplimal system. They will deposit the money between the 24th and the 25th of each month in your card. You will not see it there before. But according to what Richard shared, there is the peer-to-peer transaction, the peer-to-peer market, which is allowed and fostered by the company when they raise when they reevaluated the dollar in the system to 800 XAF. They were fostering these peer-to-peer transactions. And so, for instance, you need to acquire the limos in order for you to purchase your pack. You acquire the limos via someone, and you send him the money. You agree on the best channel to send him the money, either by payer, crypto wallet, or direct wire transfer, or PayPal or something. And then they send you the limos into your balance and you purchase your pack. Now, try to reverse that transaction. That somebody else needs to acquire limos, and you have limos to sell. And that person will do with you will do with that person exactly the same way that the other guy did with you when you were acquiring limos. You will become this time the supplier, while the new guy is the demander. And the guy you will have to agree with that guy between demander and supplier, the best way for you to get the money. Then you transfer him the limos. This is what we call peer-to-peer transactions, the market of the community. And this is also better because you have a better chance of selling your limos at a higher rate than the 550 XAF fixed by UBA based on traditional banking system of selling foreign currencies. So that is the best way. That is the best way if you're looking for higher amounts of money.
Okay.
I hope I have addressed that question. I will let Richard handle the rest.
Yeah, so the rest of David's question was about linking his bank account to the Liyeplimal system. No, it's not possible. The only bank account that you can link to the Liyeplimal system is if you have an account with UBA, United Bank for Africa, because it took a partnership between Liyeplimal with UBA in order for that link to be possible. So for example, if you're in USA, let's say you're with Bank of America, you wouldn't be able to link your Bank of America account with the Liyeplimal system, but you'll be able to link your UBA. So if you have a UBA account, you can link your UBA account with the Liyeplimal system. And then if you have a way to link your UBA bank account with your Bank of America account, then you can do in that way. But there's no direct link that you can do between Liyeplimal with any other bank in the world apart from UBA.
Any reason behind that restrictions? Because
yes,
to me, it look. I mean, most of the people are much more comfortable when they do their transactions through their bank. So I'm wondering if there's any reason behind that restriction.
There is. The restriction comes from the fact that in order for a bank to allow a third-party system to link their system with theirs, there's a need for a partnership. And that partnership was initiated and completed with UBA. So in order for Bank of America to be linked to Liyeplimal, there will be a need for a partnership between Bank of America and Liyeplimal and all the other banks in the world. So it's not something that you can just do like that. It takes a partnership for the bank to accept that link to be done.
Okay, yeah, I definitely understand. I understand the reason behind, but to my own point of view, well, it's true that the company is still young, but this is something that needs to be worked upon. I mean, so as to gain more customers, you know, because most of the customers that have made these are the questions that have that came up, and I wasn't able to answer.
Yeah.
So I strongly believe that you guys should definitely work towards that direction, so that at least those who are investing in the system should be able, I mean, to have so many options to choose where they feel comfortable. So that's my own opinion. Well, I think that these are the questions I have for you guys, and once more, thanks for your presentation.
Thank you, David. That's definitely a point that we can bring up to the management. They're always taking suggestions, and they could look into it. Yes, Diamond.
Okay.
I also want to add, when you deposit the money through the system as well, there is a fee that the company will charge. And I think it's 10%, right, Richard?
$10, not 10%.
$10? Okay. So when you deposit in through, and I kind of did an example because I tried to use, because you remember you can go straight from your Bitcoin wallet and deposit into the system. But there is a fee, because I don't remember which pack I was trying, but it seemed as if it was, I don't know, Richard, I think it was 10% if I'm not wrong. We can double check that for them.
So there will be fees at many levels. So there is a fee when you deposit to the Liyeplimal system. There is a fee when you're doing a transaction from your Bitcoin wallet that the wallet will charge you from. So any transaction that you do, every system is going to get a little bit of fees in there. So
I just my point that I wanted to make. So the reason why you might find that people do peer-to-peer is because even though there is a fee when you do the transfer, it's quite smaller than the actual fee when you do the direct deposit through the system. So, you know, people always look for the best way to save $1, you know. And of course, you do whatever is more comfortable for you, but always try to be close to someone like a leader that is able to make these transactions for you, because our goal is to really help everyone, you know, save and also make money, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I like to add another comment to that is there is actually a benefit to do a peer-to-peer transaction. Besides the fact that you can negotiate very interesting rates, better than if you had to purchase directly with the system. When it comes down to selling your limos, when you want to withdraw money out of the system, that's where the real benefit of peer-to-peer transaction will come. Because remember, the Visa card is at 550 XAF. That is kind of frozen. It's kind of frozen because it's UBA. It's not Liyeplimal that handles that one. It's UBA because it's a bank. Based on how the company started with the US dollar before they migrated slowly into the limo. But with the peer-to-peer transaction, you have a higher chance of selling your limo at a higher rate than 550 XAF. And also with peer-to-peer transaction, you can sell anytime. You're not restricted to 2 days that you will receive your money in your Visa card, regardless of when you made the request.
And your profit will be more. So for example, when you're seen in the system, for example, where I'll take like the Pretoria, which is the 12,800 pack. I think it's 27,520 limos, if I'm remembering clearly. So instead of getting that amount, you would end up getting more. So your percentage back to you will be a lot more as well, right?
Yeah.
And it's benefiting overall because the company likes that too, because not only that we're benefiting, the company benefits too, because the money is actually staying within the company for them to make more money in crypto, right, Richard?
Yeah, right. So I think this conversation raised more questions. So I'll go with David, then Seraphine, and then we'll finish with Alois. So David, you still have
yes, please. There are some questions that came in my mind later on. So did I understand that to purchase a pack, there's a fee of $10 or 10%? Is it $10 irrespective of the amount that you want to purchase?
It's $10 when you want to put money directly. You want to deposit money directly to the Liyeplimal system. Wait. Let me make sure I have it right.
Richard.
Let me just log into my account here and do a check while Seraphine is asking her question and Alois. So Seraphine, go ahead. David, I'm looking this for you. And then Seraphine, you can ask your question.
Yes, my question is, I'm here, sorry, I had to mute myself. My question is, if somebody has an account with UBA, is it still going to be, can they be paid directly regardless of the pack, or it still has to be the 51,000 pack? That's first question. Second question is, at what rate? Is it at the rate of 50 or 550 francs CFA that they will be paid?
Yes, Ebenezer, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you have a UBA account, you can link your account. You can actually set up your account in your profile, and then you can purchase limos via your account, but it will be at the rate of 800 ZAF, the rate at which the company is selling limos directly. And the reason they raised that value from 650, which was formerly the US dollar, to 800 is because they wanted to foster the peer-to-peer transaction. So you will purchase it at 800. Now, for you to be able to withdraw directly to your bank account, even if you have a UBA account, it has to be at least the 51,000 pack, either the 51,000 pack or the 100,000 pack. Then they will directly deposit your withdrawal amounts to your bank account. But
I'm sorry, at what rate? At the 550? At the 550?
Correct.
Okay.
550.
Thank you.
And you have ceilings. You have ceiling amounts for each. For the 51,000 pack, it will be $8,500 a month. That's the maximum, the ceiling amount. But that amount doubles if it is you're withdrawing, if you have purchased a $100,000 pack. But you can also compound the withdrawal amounts if you have both the 100,000 pack and the 51,000 pack. You can withdraw a total amount for those two packs of 17,000 plus 8,500 at once.
But that would be less, right? Because I'm paying, they will convert it to 550, right? So I will get less.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why if you want more, go peer-to-peer. And your limos they will not sleep, not even a day. You know how it's going on these days.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, wonderful. So I got your answer, David, and Diamond, you were right. So, okay, David, if you can see the screen that I'm sharing, I went to my back office and I tried to deposit 1,000. You can see the fee is $101. So that's approximately 10%. So it's actually 10% like Diamond was saying. So that's another fee that you have to pay when you are trying to deposit money directly into the system. So not only you're paying this 101 fees here, you're going to pay the fee from your Bitcoin wallet to this system. So it goes with fees and fees and fees. Okay, wonderful. So now we have Alois and I have Leroy. Christy. So Alois, go ahead again and
So you know, this is a learning process for all of us. My concern now is the availability of the limos, because when you're out there talking to people and someone gets interested and their account is verified, you know, how available are these limos we're talking about? Because I was just telling my uplink that just now I was texting her that, you know, I'm a mover, so I could get someone who will go up there and want the limos. I mean, really, really high amount. And how do we make this thing, you know, is it something that if someone's like, okay, I want a 25K, I want to invest $25,000. Can we get those limos readily available for that person? Just the availability. That's my last question.
You'll get it. Go ahead, Richard.
The reason I'm laughing, Alois, is that you're asking a very interesting question. Is something that is entertaining all of us in the Liyeplimal galaxy, like we call it. So the limos are available. Now, the question is, how much are you willing to pay for them? Because the secondary market is respect the law of offer and demand. So there will be time where there are a lot of people who are in need of limo, and the price of the limo will shoot up. Of course, it doesn't get to 800 XAF like the company is doing, but it's getting there. So the limos are available. But the thing is, some people will try to negotiate a lower price. That's when it becomes difficult because now you have to negotiate and find someone who is willing to sell you at a lower rate. But the limos are always available, always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a last question. That would be Leroy Christie Leroy. Maybe it's on mute. Yes, Christy, you can open your mic and then present yourself and then ask your question.
Yeah, I'm saying, I hope you're hearing me.
We are hearing you now.
I'm saying, if you wanted to send money via Bitcoin, how would we have, you'd provide the information of your Bitcoin address so that we could send money in? If we wanted to send money into you, you would provide us with your Bitcoin account, or is it accessible on the site?
It's accessible
Leroy,
on the site, yeah. Yeah, Kuchita, go ahead. Damon, go ahead.
Yeah, because I think we want to clarify as well the question that he's asking, right? Because there's two ways. So you can either send the money, like they can send the BTC directly from your back office,
right,
and pay that fee. Or if you hook up with a leader, like one of us who has BTC accounts, and we can get those, we can buy it for you at a lower rate. But we can still accept the BTCs as well. Okay?
Okay, fine.
Perfect.
That's good clarification. Okay, sir.
Okay, wonderful. I think
one last question, please.
Yes, David, that will be the last question then, because we've
gone. The last one. I won't come out with more questions, please.
We've got that. It's okay. It's okay to ask your questions. If you're already a member, join the WhatsApp group. There's open, but ask your question.
Okay.
We're here for that.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Assuming that, let's say someone invests on a pack of 6,004, right? So you said to get the money out of the system should be either through this thing, the credit card, right, or debit card or credit.
It's a credit card. It's a prepaid credit Visa card.
Yes, a prepaid credit card. So if the person investing is in the US, so will he get his money in US dollars, or will he be safer? Because I've always hearing you talking about safer. So let's say the person invests 6,004. So the return on investment as per the chart that you gave earlier on is something like 1,000. I mean, 1,000, almost 1,000 a month. So will this person be able to get $1,000 a month from his 1,000 US dollars every month from his credit card here in US? Is that possible? And how is it easy to get that credit card?
Okay, I'll answer those questions because I've dealt with the credit card many times. So this is mine here, the Visa card. Okay, so first of all, how to get it? You can register in the WhatsApp group. Again, we have some people who already have like a batch of credit card here in North America, and you can reach out to them to register, to request for your credit card. From my team personally, I also send application forms to people and they'll register. Then it takes approximately 3 to 4 weeks, because when I do them, when you send me back your form, I send the form to Cameroon, and then they will process the form, they will deliver the card there, and then someone there, my upline, then Cameroon will get the card, send them to me by DHL. So, but you can also go to the Liyeplimal, the Limarket e-commerce website, and you can buy a card from there. Then the company will send you the card to your address. So there are multiple avenues. to get the Visa card. So that's the second question. Now the first question was, are you going to get your money? Okay, so I'm going to get an example of myself, because like I said, I've been with the company for more than almost 2 years now. And for a good while, I was doing the transaction, the direct transactions with the systems. So let's say, for example, that I do a withdrawal of 1,400 limos. So when I do a withdrawal of 1,400 limos, to make it easier for me, let's say 1,000 limos. I'll get in the Visa card that I just showed you guys, 550,000 XAF. That's what I'll get. That's deposited by UBM. Then I am in Canada. I can go to the ATM and do a withdrawal of, I can do 1,000 a day. That's the limit for Canada. You can do maximum 1,000 a day. So I'll do the withdrawal of 1,000 and I'll wait the next day. Now, I have to take into account the fees, because as you might know, the XAF is directly converted only with euro. So the conversion is from XAF to euro and then euro to any other currency. So there's a conversion fee there from XAF to euro. And then from euro to Canadian dollar, there's another conversion fee that I have to take into account. So when that is done, when I'm doing a transaction in Canadian dollar, those fees are taken into account. Now, if I'm doing a withdrawal from the ATM machine, the ATM is charging me $3 every time I do a withdrawal. And the ATM doesn't allow me to withdraw more than $400 at a time. So if I want to withdraw 1,000, I have to do 3 withdrawals. 400, I pay $3 fee. Another 400, I pay another $3 fee. Another 200, and I pay another $3 fee. So there I've paid $12 fee to withdraw the 1,000 that day. Now, the conversion rate that is applied, it depends on the bank that you're dealing with. So the bank will apply the conversion rate, and the conversion will be done in XAF. And then I will see in my email, now you've withdrawn this amount of money in XAF, and this is the amount of money that you still have left. So when you're using your card, yes, you can withdraw. If you're in Canada, for example, and if you're using the logic that I just used, you can withdraw as much as 30,000 Canadian dollar, talking about $1,000 per day that you are allowed to withdraw every day. So that's the maximum that you're going to be able to withdraw from the Visa card. But now you can withdraw that amount directly if you want to cash, but you can also use it in any supermarket or any shop. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, definitely. I got the point. So it means that there's more burden for those living overseas to get the money through the card than those living in Cameroon. I mean, in ZAF countries.
It's better for them.
Meaning that this business is more or less beneficial for them instead.
Yeah, because the business is based in Cameroon, so they have to have some benefits from that.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So we've gone more than what we've planned, but it's good because we like all the questions, because that's how we learn. And we always advise people to join our weekly presentations. For example, next presentation next week, on Saturday, we will be receiving the first coach that I just talked about. The person. Yes, Diamond?
No, I was gonna say I'm very much proud of the English team today.
Yeah. So
the questions,
yes.
I'm very, very proud of it. Proud.
Yes. So we have the Mr. Baiha, who is the first leader from the compensation plan that I just showed you guys, the person who received his car back in June 13th. He'll be joining our presentation next Saturday, and he will be sharing with us his experience and how he managed to get to that level, because he's been able to do that in less than 2 years. So those presentations are important in order for you guys to ask your questions and to learn and to meet other people. So thank you very much, everyone who've joined. Thank you, Seraphine,
Richard.
David,
Hi, Richard.
Alois.
I want to make an announcement. Hi, Richard.
Yes, Seraphine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for the awesome presentation. I want to thank all my guests that are on the call. Thank you, Ebenezer. Thank you, Diamond. Fabrice is not there. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yes, I want to say that for those of you who are in the US, I'm going to be having a Zoom presentation tomorrow at 7 p.m. So feel free. I will share the link on the Zoom for Liyeplimal team user. It's always good to come to meeting because you learn a lot. Like me, I learned today about the UBA bank, all that stuff. For example, for me, I was thinking that it can be linked to any bank, but now it's just UBA. So I learned something new today. So yes, so please, we are very proud about this opportunity, especially because he's an African man. And for those of us who are from Cameroon, he's a Cameroonian man. So he's our Mark Zuckerberg. So we are very proud of this company, and we pray that you keep an open mind and you join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Seraphine. Yeah, so thank you everyone who've joined, and then see you next weekend, or those who are joining the Zoom tomorrow with Seraphine. Seraphine is actually doing an amazing job in informing, educating, and presenting in Zoom. So the way you learn with this business is actually by joining these presentations. You learn something every time you join. There's stuff that are not in the documentation, but you learn that from the Zoom. The stuff that you will not find written anywhere, but you learn them from the Zoom. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Richard.
No problem.
Thank you very much, boss.
No problem.